YouTube, hello, hey, hi, how's it going? Welcome to the channel for the first time. If it's not your first time, welcome back. Hello, episode number 8 of our 1860 Munich Career Mode here in FIFA 23. We finish off the last season with a big old bang. We absolutely destroyed it. We won the league, so now we are in the second Bundesliga with 1860 Munich, and we're in the transfer window. Yeah, so we're in the summer transfer window. Basically, that's going to be the bulk of the episode, is just trying to make the team better. And we'll get a handful of preseason games in the preseason tournament. We might also get to maybe the first game or two of the regular season. We'll see. We will see. Let's get into it without further ado. And also, I mean, okay, no, there is one ado. We need to acknowledge this. It's still there. It's still ginormous. I hate it. So, first transfer in, Charlie Webster. I mean, listen, if you watched the first season, you will know how important Webster was, especially once we moved him out to the wing. He killed it. So, we brought him in for 5 years. We basically activated his buyout clause. It was $550,000. His market value at the moment, 1.3, 62 overall at 19. You know, could he be better? Yes, but also, like I said last episode, he plays above his stats. Honestly, he's better than a 62. And the only thing is, $5,800 for a weekly wage is quite a lot of money. But we have a handful of players that are going to be leaving us once the transfer window opens. We have enough money-ish, maybe, hopefully, especially if we win this preseason tournament, that will be okay. Maybe. It was probably a bad idea to bring him in for $5,800, but I would have rather overpaid for him than just lose him completely. So there it is. I'm also negotiating contracts with some other players, and they're all going to be very expensive, it seems, to try and retain. So I'm going to try and work my magic, which means I'll probably just end up overpaying for them. But we'll see. I'm going to get stuck in with some more contract negotiations and transfers, and, you know, obviously update you when there's updates to tell you about. So we're going to be taking on Blackburn in the preseason tournament, and we've got Hansen in goal, a back five, because we're moving to a back five, because we're up into the second Bundesliga, and I think we need to. We also got a transfer offer in for Reeder, so he's gone, basically, once that goes through. So I figured, well, might as well get used to the back five. So it's Gallardo, Lang, Verlat, Murgala, and Greilinger as a back five, pardon me. Talig and Vernezzi are the two midfielders, Webster, Afif on the wings, and then Lockenmacher is the lone striker. So let's get into the game against Blackburn. Here we go. Let's do it. Pre-season tournament against Blackburn at the Stadia Netter. Not a real stadium, but it's fine. Let's do it. Up for Vernezzi. Vernezzi just tried to hold on to that for too long. Gallagher in! Gallagher, that is just wide. Travis now. Pass through. That's got to be a goal. No, Hansen, what a stop, but it's a rebound. Beef. Good job there. Gallardo. Head for Lockenmacher. He has got Vernezzi through the middle. Vernezzi makes it 1-1 at 1860 Munich. Back in it in the 25th minute. Back for Hansen. Lockenmacher will flick it on for Afif. Afif, he's got Gallardo. Into space. Great ball there. Gallardo now. In. Oh, good slide tackle. And it goes back behind the goal. Corner here. Oh, Vernezzi nearly got to it. Beef. Low back heel. Charlie Webster. Lockenmacher, is he onside? Oh, he stopped. Great save. Over the top. Verlat gets to it first. Vernezzi takes it down well. Back for Vernezzi from Lockenmacher. Vernezzi stopped. Great stop there. 80th minute. We have some substitutions. Boyamba on for Webster. Bauman on for Talig. And Leonard is coming on for Greilinger. 86th minute. Corner. Beef. And Vernezzi was right there. He just couldn't get enough of it. Stolen by Bauman. Blocked. Boyamba with a shot. Oh, that is a great save. 1-1 between Blackburn and 1860 Munich. All right. Like I said, we made that deal for Reeder. He is out. We weren't going to get much money for him, to be honest. We were lucky to get what we did, really. And, you know, sucks in a way to lose him. He was solid for us, but he was 29. He was not going to get any better. We needed some money. Lets us play Lang as well with 5 at the back. So he's out to Deportivo Alaves. Let's see what you get for it. An A. You'll love to see it. All right, we're taking on Sturm Graz. It is Hiller in goal with Gallardo, Lang, Verlat, Morgalla, Lannert as a back 5, Baumann and Vernesi as the midfielders, Boyamba of Fief as the wingers, Lockenmacher is the starting striker. I'm also figuring out, boy oh boy, we might need to sign some players for depth, because I have a feeling we have a very small squad and they're going to get exhausted throughout the season. So yeah, I might panic sign some players sooner rather than later. Sturm Graz against 1860 Munich in our second game of this preseason tournament. Let's get into it. Boyamba for Vernesi. Vernesi trying to go up and over the top. Can Lockenmacher chase it down? No, he can't, but he can't steal it. Loses the ball, though. It falls to a thief. Good stop. Awkward collision there. Lannert trying to chase it down. He does really well. Boyamba. Head for Vernesi. Vernesi on for Lockenmacher. Lockenmacher with a chance here. Cuts it back. Vernesi just missing the net. Chance again here for Sturm Graz. Through. Sturm Graz makes it 1-0. Lockenmacher up and over the top. That's a great ball by Lockenmacher. Boyamba should have scored. Balls for Baumann. Vernesi. Lannert. Box Lockenmacher! Lockenmacher scores and evens it up at 1. Gallardo pressured really well. Run for Vernesi. Vernesi is on. Vernesi. Through. Oh, he gets... Oh, Vernesi! With a spinning little cross... Or not a cross, pardon me. A pass across the box. Lockenmacher is there. 2-1 for 1860 Munich. Awkward collision there. Kachvili is in off the post and it stays out. Great slide tackle by Vict. He is through to Lockenmacher. Lockenmacher across to Vernesi. 3-1 for 1860 Munich. That has to seal it now. 86 minutes gone. Sturm Graz down by 2. Trying to get back into it. Lang with a really good steal, though. Talig. Is Boyamba onside? He is. Boyamba could make it 4. Boyamba does. What a shot, Boyamba. 4-1 for 1860 Munich. That will seal it against Sturm Graz. And there it is. 4-1 for 1860 Munich. Big win against Sturm Graz. There you go. You see one loan out. Ronald Mayer. Going to Dutcher Force, recovering 30% of his wages. Listen, we gotta loan him out. We gotta try and get him to develop because it is Hiller and Hansen as our 1 and 2. So I will take that loan. And then Cafu! We're bringing in Cafu, the center defending mid, the center attacking mid as well. He's only 30. I thought he was older. But listen, I'll take it. He's a 70 overall. Not amazing, but he's going to just slot in there as a really good squad player. Make 4K a week, which is quite a lot, but we have the money. We have a release fee of 1.2 mil on him. So why not? Why not So we also brought in this dude, Matias Gallarza, a 21-year-old center mid Argentinian. He is from Genk. We got him for 3.5 mil, which, you know, admittedly is a fair amount of money, and 5.2 a week. But I feel like we're going okay here. I feel like what we need to do is we need to definitely make sure that we bring Lannert back, and we try to shore up a couple other players and re-sign them. They were not happy at first about how much money we gave them, so we might have to wait a little bit and figure it out from there. But I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling relatively okay. All right, we are taking on Hull City now. Hiller is in goal with Gallardo, Lang, Verlat, Morgala, Greilinger as a back five. Gallarzo.
I botched that one. Oh, that's a botched job.
And then Cafu. The midfielders, Webster, Afif are the wingers. Lockenmacher is the striker. We brought in a couple more players. Unfortunately, they're not technically in yet, which would be nice because I really need them for depth, but we'll show you those when we actually sign them properly. So let's get into the game versus Hull City. 1860 Munich. Hull City, let's get into the game. Greilinger, great steal there. Greilinger. Down the wing for Charlie Webster. So much space for Webster, who's come in permanently for 1860 Munich, and he scores 6 minutes into the game. The former Chelsea youngster. Again, a permanent signing now for 1860 Munich. New number 15. You have to think maybe the keeper should have done better, but nonetheless, 1-2-0 for 1860 Munich. All the way back for Hiller. Lockenmacher. What a take by Lockenmacher. A thief. First time shot. Parried behind the net. Back for Christie. Christie with a little bit of space. Tete. Turns his man. Stopped by Hiller. Lockenmacher. Through for Cafu. Cafu. Ahead for Charlie Webster. Webster. Shot! Webster, that is not far off. Thief. Tackled, but no foul called. Thief. Lockenmacher. Shot! Just wide from the striker. Gallardo. Through for a thief. Thief. Holding off his man well. A thief. Across the box. Nobody's there. Larza. Lockenmacher. Lockenmacher. Oh, that is just wide. What a chance for Lockenmacher. Cafu. He sees a thief. A thief takes it down really well there. Thief. Up and over. Lockenmacher. Good chance. Rebound. Oh, it goes across the goal. One last chance maybe for Hull. It is going to be a chance. Oh, how do you miss that? That is... You have to at least put that on net. And that's going to be the last kick of the game. 1860 Munich holds on 1-0. There you see our boy, Jesus Gallardo, leaving the team. Listen, this pains me, but Hellas Verona came in for 8 mil. Considering we signed him for literally $0 last year, I can't not take that transfer offer. We get 8 mil. Reinvested in the team. So I love to see it. Is that going to be one of our new signings? I think it is. It is. So Gallardo went out. We're able to get some money. We bring in this dude. Can't even remember his name, admittedly. On loan. There he is. Martin Winkler from Hertha Berlin. 12-month loan. Basically, we bring him in as a depth striker. 65 overall. 20 years old. You know, not amazing, but good enough to be a depth striker. Recovering 45% of his wages. Hertha's taking 55. So, not bad. All right, we are also bringing in Diogo da Costa. He's a 16-year-old Brazilian. We got him for free. A plus, just an A. There is no pluses in this game. He is a 70 overall at 16 years old. You know, listen. Is he as good as Gallardo? No. But 16 years old, Brazilian. Why not? And we're also going to bring in this dude, Amadou Fati, free agent. He's a 19-year-old right back. Again, depth. Don't know what his rating is, but I'll take it. 72. 72, you love to see it. Both Fati and Da Costa might, in fact, they might be our starters. We're also going to bring in this dude, Christian Castro. Also a free transfer. Only 17 years old. He's a CDM. A ranking. 65 overall, not bad at all. Yeah. 17 years old. 5-year contract. We're only paying him $1,000 a week. Basically, the reason I signed him was because he's got a mullet. Right, you know what? We'll finish it off with one more game as well. The game. You know what? We'll finish it off with our season openers now. Why not? Can we finish top half of the season? Oh boy. We want to be safe. The board wants us to finish mid-table. So, like, hopefully. We have brought in Cafu. Our plans for the future. Does this mean Talik is probably on his way out? No. It's just up to players to perform. We need depth, straight up. It is a big fixture against Nuremberg. Are we ready? Oh no. I don't know. I believe my players. The best I can do. Alright, it is the season opener against Nuremberg, our first game in the second Bundesliga. You'll have to see it. You can also see we have bumped up the difficulty to legendary. Don't exactly understand how and why we didn't get into the, later stages of the preseason tournament, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Our starting 11, it is Hiller in goal, Lannert, Verlat, Morgala, and then Fati, new boy. Our back four, Cafu is holding the midfield. Galarza, it's not Gallarza, it's Galarza, and then Webster in the midfield. Afif Boyamba on the wings, Lockenmacher is a striker. Let's do it. Here we go. New season underway, 1860 Munich. Promoted up to the second Bundesliga, and they are opening their season against Nuremberg. Let's get into the game. Chance. Really well done there by Fati. Oh, hard tackle on Fati, and that is an immediate red. Dolly is out. 9 minutes in, you can see Amadou Fati not happy about that. That was a cynical challenge if I have ever seen one. And now Nuremberg have to play with 10 men for the next 80 minutes. Boyamba, nice little turn there. Fati down the wing. Back for Boyamba. Into the box, blocked, but it falls for Fati. Into the box again. FIFA's right there. And that is the first goal. Pardon me, that is the first goal for 1860 Munich. Up in the second Bundesliga, and they are up 1-0 on the 10-man Nuremberg. Dua. Duman. Camara. Dua. Chance here. Duman back, and it is 1-1. 31 minutes gone. And Nuremberg, they might be down to 10 men, but they have drawn it even. Nice move there. Chance for Nuremberg. Big defensive stop. And Hiller grabs the ball. Thief. Lockenmacher. He has got Eliza. Nice move. What a goal, and it is 2-1. His regular season debut. Galarza, the 21-year-old Argentinian, came in from Genk in the summer, and he has got his first goal for 1860 Munich. It takes a deflection off of Fati, but it falls for Kopka. Chance. Boyamba does really well. Charlie Webster ahead for Fati. Fati now. Allowed to run into space. Fati. For Lockenmacher. Lockenmacher Holds it up and gets it back for Fati. Fati with a shot. Fati scores. It is 3-1 on his debut. Amadou Fati. Passer stepping up. And Lockenmacher through. A thief taken down in the box. That is going to be a penalty and a yellow against Mathenia. It will be Lockenmacher on the penalty. Lockenmacher, no mistake. 4-1. And he hits him with a gritty. You'll love to see it. And that is going to be the end of it. 4-1 for 1860 Munich. After that red card, it was never in doubt. So after kind of, looking through the squad and then looking through players and looking who we're scouting and our transfer budget, which after the Gallardo deal for 8 mil was about 6 point something, I kind of figured out that, honestly, as far as who we could actually bring in for around 6 mil, I don't think they're going to improve our team enough to make it really worth it. And as far as depth goes, we can just bring in loans or free players. So I figured, you know what? Let's invest in some scouting. So I got rid of our 2 scouts. Martino Vogel, I kept him. He's still on. You can't see it, but he's going through Croatia for 3 months to try and find some Croatian youngsters. And then I brought in Jakob Holler, who's 5-5. 5 stars, experience, 5 stars judgment. He was 4 mil. It's a lot to set that up for a scouting network, but it's going to be good. He's going to Belgium for 9 months. So yeah, we might bring in 1 more scout if we can afford it. But for now, I think this is good. I think this is solid. And we are also bringing in this dude, Lawrence Agyacom, who is a cam from Salzburg. He's only 62 overall. Not amazing. As you can see, they're just not good enough. But I figured depth player. He's not going to be amazing. But yeah, depth player. We are also bringing in Filip Stevanovic, who basically I brought him in from Man City on a loan. It's only 67 overall, but he's 20 years old. Again, also not amazing, but he is really good at really good at free kicks, and we don't really have anybody who's particularly good at it. So figured, why not? I mean, hello. Come on. Wales is offering me a contract. They want me to qualify for the Euros and the World Cup. Yeah. Come on. Yes, absolutely. There you go. International management as well. All right, so that is going to be the end of the episode. Admittedly, I'm getting a little bit headachy, and by a little bit, I mean very. And I still have to edit this. So, still got a handful of games in there for the preseason. Opened our season. Looking pretty good. I'm definitely feeling better about the squad than I was when we started the transfer window. And plus, we're also going to be managing Wales, so that's fun. So next time around, we're going to be taking on Dusseldorf in the league. And then it is Hamburg in the cup. It is Darmstadt in the league. And then Kaiserslautern, Hansa Rostock. So that is, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we will end. We'll end with a friendly against Austria for Wales. Yeah, that looks good to me. So yeah, like I said, a little bit headachy. I'm recording this on the 1st of December, Thursday. I'll try to get it up by tomorrow, Friday. If I don't, it'll be up by Saturday at the very least. Yeah, thanks again for watching. Everybody's support on the series has been amazing. I really appreciate it. It's been rad. I've had a lot of fun, like I keep saying. And hopefully you have too. I feel like, all things considered, we started the transfer window off a little bit ropey. But we've ended it, and I feel... We haven't ended it, but we've ended the episode, and I feel relatively comfortable with the squad. So we'll maybe bolster it a little bit next time around. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that algorithm-y stuff, and have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day. All right. Don't forget that you are loved. You're amazing. Smooches to you. Mwah.